Parents of Reddit, what was the worst thing you got caught doing by your children? Not me, but a friend of mine. He self-medicated with alcohol and drank around his kids almost constantly. One occasion he was angry about something one of the kids did. His youngest daughter went to the fridge and handed him a beer and told him he needed to calm down. He hasn't had a drop since. Damn. It's a good thing that scared the drink out of him. If that didn't do it, I don't think anything would have. I'm not a parent, but I caught my dad having an affair on my stepmom with my mom. Luckily I didn't see anything horrific. Does this mean we're a family again? Well, yes, but actually no. I have never seen a better use for this line, lol. My 5-year-old, who was supposed to be sleeping, decided to barge into our room while I was on top of my significant other. I was already yelling no, no, no while the door was opening, so he only got a glimpse while touring around to shut the door. I threw some clothes on and followed him out to tuck him back into bed. He asked me what I was doing in top of dad, so me being my quick thinking self, told my son that I was cracking dad's back. Lol, son says, oh, like Dr. Kevin, my chiropractor. I said exactly like that. Hopefully that's not how Dr. Kevin cracks backs. 15 years later, kid visits the chiropractor. So when should I take off all my clothes so the doctor can climb on top of me? It could actually be true though. I remember back in elementary school this kid said he went for a checkup. He told me he took off all his clothes and touched him there. Your comment randomly made me remember, and the kid was probs being raped. For years I thought all doctors did this. I mean, there are lots of legitimate reasons a doctor has to touch your junk. My brother had some issue when he was a toddler and had to be circumcised. I would assume there was some touching that went on. Also, it is highly unlikely that a doctor would be performing an exam on a 5-year-old without their parents present. As far as it being just a checkup, it's very plausible that the kid was used to hearing that term when referring to a doctor's appointment and used it even though the appointment may have been for something more specific. Yeah, this. When I was 7, my dad noticed I kept touching and scratching my junk, so he took a look and saw I had a rash. He took me to the doctor, and I still remember laying back on the table with my pants down and the doctor checking me over. It felt like tickling to me, so I was giggling like a moron the whole time, lol. They gave me a cream and sent me on my way. When my daughter was in elementary school, she needed a jump drive for something. I gave her one that I knew was okay. The day that she needed it, she tried it, and there was some kind of a problem with it, so I grabbed another one to give to her. You probably already guessed it. There was that folder on there from when I was tossing away an old backup hard drive. She must have opened it up. She did not tell me about it until she was about 19. All I could do was say whoops. For a second, I thought you meant she was doing a presentation on the perils of artificial intelligence. Back in time, people recorded TV shows on VHS tapes. My uncle brought us a documentary about wild animals in Africa. It was a Sunday night. All family gathered. Me, 10 years old, my sister, 5, my parents and my grandparents, i.e. my uncle's parents, were sitting on the couch to see it. Let's just say that what we saw was wild, very wild. As soon as he realized that it was his porn tape, he desperately tried to shut it down, pressing all the buttons on the remote. Having failed, he stood up and pressed our old TV buttons, failing to change the channel and increasing the sound in process. So I was laughing, my sister wasn't understanding anything, my grandma was covering his eyes, grandpa was paralyzed in shock, mom and dad also trying to help my poor uncle. In the end, someone managed to eject the tape. It all happened in like 5 seconds, but I'm sure for my uncle it lasted a lot more than that. I started packing up my dad's box and games to help them get moved 1 year. I was not getting the hint from my stepmom every time she'd ask me to do something else, and she'll deal with the games. I got done with my side project, start grabbing games and putting them in a box. Realize I'm holding half a dozen porn DVDs at one point. And it was not vanilla. I just put it all back and found other stuff to pack. You'll be unpacking that for the rest of your life, bud. Not the parent but the child in this story. We all moved in with my grandma as times were hard. My mom really hated grandma, to the point apparently she didn't even want to walk through the house to pee. We were all watching a movie in my mom's room, and I see a can of Lay's stacks, like Pringles. Popped that sucker open and tilted it down to get me some chips, but got covered in my mom's piss instead. She was peeing in a Lay's can. Went straight to the shower and they never knew, but WTF. Not actually bad, but my wife had wanted to rearrange our bedroom closet for a long time, but just couldn't find the time with our, at the time, 2-year-old son constantly underfoot. She was out of the house one afternoon, so I decided to surprise her by taking out all the clothes and putting them back the way she wanted. My son was watching and saw me drape her mini skirts and dresses over my arms and shoulders so I could move them out efficiently. My wife came home and when she asked him what we'd been up to, he casually said, "Papa was wearing your clothes." My wife shot me a weird glance and I gave her that "I'll explain later" hand gesture that's part of the nonverbal communication every couple develops after many years together. I'm over a foot taller than her and close to 2.5 times her weight, so I'm sure the mental image that flashed in her head was very confusing. Edit. And by confusing, I mean traumatizing. Not a parent, but a forever scarred child. I think I was like 10 when this happened. I had recently discovered the wonderful world of picking locks with bobby pins and walked around the house, checking for locked doors I could pick. I found a door that was locked and it was my parents' bedroom door. I proceeded to pick it and saw my dad's naked ass sticking up in the air, and that's about it before my mom yelped when she realized the door was open now. I quickly shut the door and ran to my room 2 floors down. I stopped picking bedroom door locks after that. Edit. My name is not Jake. That would have been one hell of a coincidence though. Not exactly bad, more awkward. My husband was checking my nether regions for ingrown hairs. I've got a bad back and poor eyesight, so yes, I need help with that. All of a sudden our 3-year-old is at our bedside, asking if she could have a glass of water. We decided to just act normal and not make a big deal about it. She never mentioned it to us or anyone, so I think we dodged a bullet. You dodged a bullet like you were in the Matrix. Not my personal story, but I have a friend who when she was about 10 or so walked in on her parents going at it. Rightly horrified, she ran downstairs to the basement and promptly walked in on her older sister and some guy going at it too. She says that she didn't talk to any of them for a week. Poor kid. My wife and I during one of our rare copulations were doing it on the couch. I had like a 30-second orgasm that was loud and proud. The stairs to our house have a landing where you look around the wall and see the whole living room. After my unusually and exceedingly long orgasm, I hear my 6-year-old's voice emanating from the stairs asking, "Daddy, why are you laying on mommy going oh oh oh?" I stubbed my toe and it hurt so much I fell over on mommy go to bed and he did. I'm pretty sure he'll put it together when he's old enough. I was a witness. I was volunteering at a festival. Parking was kinda far away with shuttle buses taking people back and forth. Guy is told he has to fold his stroller up to get on the bus. He tries to fold it and has trouble cause his kid was still in it. It wasn't a 1 try and realize it was like 3 tries where he put his weight into it before he realized. He was basically folding his kid's feet to forehead. Kid was doing the silent cry then started wailing. Dad kinda noped out of there as quick as he could. My so's daughter caught her giving me a BJ. Worst part was that we didn't notice and she didn't say anything till the next morning. We are eating breakfast and she just blurts out, "Is GIMME 3 strokes PP okay? I saw mommy kissing it an awful lot last night." There were 3 other kids in the room and 2 of them knew exactly what she was talking about. When I was playing GTA 5 and he caught me kicking cats in game. It took me several hours to calm him down. He was perfectly fine with all the murder and thefts. But kicking cats was the line in the sand. Straight up murdering that pussy. It seems most parents were caught slaying pussy in one way or another. My kid got my wife and I doing one thing that we usually do when he goes sleep. He busted us for eating McNuggets and ice cream 15 min later. That Uber driver delivered it to us. He was furious, haha. They had us in the first half, not gonna lie. Got caught by my 6-year-old getting it on. My BF was on top. Luckily we heard some noise outside the door and pulled the blanket on us. He asked why my BF was on me and I told him I was really cold. When he was 7 he tried coming in when my BF was going down on me. We thought he went back downstairs, we would put a movie or show on for him and go upstairs to do stuff, but he didn't. I walk out of the room and he was there sitting at the top of the stairs and asked why was I panting so much. Folding laundry is just so much work. Your kid is gonna fold laundry one day and think of this. Then he's gonna wonder if you had any medical conditions. Then he'll realize you too got it on. It's gonna hit him hard. I'd rather he just share an innocent story about it and then be told, yo, they were totally having sex. My son when he was about 3 was occupied watching Paw Patrol or something, so the wife and I snuck away for some sex, swore I locked the door. So anyways, I'm pounding away and feel the impending orgasm. A brewing door starts to rattle. I finish just as the door opens. Son with a huge grin shouts yay, clearly happy to have gotten the door open, as my wife and I quickly cover ourselves up. I'm not a parent, but when I was 15 I caught my parents snorting coke with their friend in my little brother's room. They told me it was powdered sugar BC. It was on a plate. They thought that was rational. I still can't believe their nerve. They've recovered since then, and our relationship is way better now. As an adult, I try to cut them some slack. Parenting is hard already, and when you're a struggling addict it is even more so. But as a teen I hated them, not only for the addiction, but also for insulting my intelligence like they did. Still something I think about that I need to let go. Anal. Vocal, uncovered by the sheets, doggy style anal. The worst part is that 3-year-olds can be pretty insistent when asking what "fuck my ass, baby" means. When you tell them it's something only grown-ups can say, and that you'll tell them what it actually means when they're older, they will turn right around and ask grandpa, their daycare teacher and every other adult they encounter without your supervision. Which is probably to be expected, but what you don't think about is the fact that the 3-year-old will explain what he saw to each of those adults, and that each and every one of them will fully understand what the kid witnessed and will have opinions about it that they feel the need to share with you. Edit. For anyone interested, the grandpa in question was my father-in-law. So while I may have been a bit flippant with his concerns, see below, I have some sympathy for the man who had to at least briefly picture his little princess getting duped up the poop chute. I had my husband's dong in my mouth when my daughter bursted into the room. It was devastating. She brings it up occasionally, but doesn't remember what was happening, but that something didn't seem right. She actually just brought it up last week. Hit the bell for notifications so you never miss a video. Like, comment and subscribe if you're new here. More great Reddit content coming soon.